The Mighty Whites podcast is recorded at the Don Bennison Recording Studio in Allerton Bywater. For more information, visit donbennison.com or email info@donbennison.com.
Hi and welcome to episode 14 of the Mighty Whites podcast. I'm Jack and I'm a bit depressed and tired after the last couple of weeks. I'm joined by Connie.
Now then.
And Jacob.
Now then. It's alright, my existential crisis has ended. I'm back with us.
Alright, so what is it this week?
You'll have to wait till the end to find that out.
Alright, cool. Well, just so long as we know. So long as you aren't Samu after his performance in his first game against Newport. 2-1 defeat, which I know that we always mess up in the FA Cup, but I really didn't see this one coming. At least I can understand how you get beat, but I just thought the performance was absolutely abysmal.
I don't think any of us saw it coming after 7 minutes when Gaetano wandered forward from centre-back and absolutely hammered one in, and we all thought, all right, nice, comfortable FA Cup tie, get an early goal, kill off their spirits, and then we just kind of scored and went, that's us done now.
You just, even before they got the equaliser, just like as you said, we scored, and then within 5 minutes after then, they were a better team throughout. There were no fluke about it at all. We were shite, and they were. To be fair, they played at top of the game. I don't even think, I'll take that back. I don't even think they had to be at top of the game. We were that bad.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of people didn't have great games. I mean, Shaughnessy didn't have a great game and his own goal was poor, but that does happen every now and then. Berardi was probably the only person who had a decent game.
Yeah.
I mean, that Robbie Wilmot's look good. If that's what he normally is like, I won't mind him.
He was just solid, wasn't he? He went all over the place, wasn't he?
But I suppose he was running at Borthwick Jackson, and I think anyone would go past Borthwick Jackson at minute.
I just don't understand. I mean, have we heard any rumours anyway about Borthwick Jackson's loan being terminated or all that? Because I just don't. Now
we were all thinking about it midway through that game.
I think it will be.
Well, we've got Debock in now, and we've also got Tyler Denton back from Port Vale. So
Denton, whatever that family thing was, must have stopped because he played for under-23s earlier today.
So I mean,
they got beat 2-1. I think Malik Wilkes scored our goal. We were playing Crewe, I think.
Fair dues, but yeah, say with Borthwick Jackson, he just looks devoid of any confidence, doesn't he? It's and now we've got two left backs that have just arrived, albeit one's come back. But you'd like to think that Debock's going to get a game ahead of him.
Debock will be in starting lineup against Millwall, I would have thought. The one thing that I do need to mention, because I've seen it back a few times now, and I can't help but thinking it. Are we all absolutely sure that goal didn't go in off Lasogga's ass?
I said at first, didn't I? That's taking a deflection as that.
No, it's Gaetano. He just hit it that hard.
Oh no! I mean, they'll definitely give him it, but I still to this day say that Becchio's amazing volley against Middlesbrough were Howson's goal because it flicked him on way in.
I remember you shouting at me the minute I said that. Was another one. I said that hit Howson. Shut up! No, it didn't. Didn't you have a bet on with Mark Young?
Yeah, Youngie said. Becchio wouldn't get 15 goals in his first season in the Championship, but at that point, I think we were. When did that game come? Would it have been October, November
Something
time?
Like that, yeah. It was first year back in Championship.
Yeah, and I just remember that going in. Get in! That's another one there. Youngie's in trouble. I think it went off house and shut up.
Yeah, there was a lot to unpack from such a shit performance, really. Radrizzani said it was his lowest moment since he bought the club.
He's got some way to go, yeah.
Yeah, he is. It certainly isn't. He don't even crack the top 10 of mine, I don't think. But the main news out of it, and it's, in my opinion, it's way worse than going out at FA Cup. Samu Size. 6-game ban, uncontested, so he definitely did it. He has come out and apologised and everything and said it'll never happen again.
I don't think any sort of apology can allow for that sort of behaviour on a football field. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've said it many times. I'd sooner someone walk up and punch me in the face than spit at me. It's one of the worst things you can do to someone, and I know he's his best player, but
You see, there's a lot of people say that and they don't actually mean it. But Connie actually means it. Yeah. He would rather someone took a swing at him.
It's just disgusting. The thought that you can't even say that he did it in heat at moment. That's premeditated.
Yeah.
Is that
it can be changed though? Like, would you rather Francis Ngannou spat at you than punched you?
Not fairness, if Francis Ngannou spat at me, probably put me on my ass anyway. But no, it's just. We know he's got a temper on him, and I do like that in a footballer, and I think you do need it to an extent, but when you're doing stuff like that, it's just one of the worst. I mean, amongst other things, Juve used to get lambasted for doing stuff like that, and now, it's just, there's no place for it.
And then he'd grab his knob and offend everyone.
Yeah. I mean, I know he did some things at Leeds that turned Juve round a bit for some of the things, but you don't want to be modelling any of your behaviour after noted arsehole El Hadj Juve.
I think the thing that got me, and I said this to you guys after the game, like if you're putting out that starting lineup, one, you're clearly signalling this game is not as important as the others. So to get to the end, the final 10-15 minutes when we've got 4 youngsters sat on the bench who, again, we are clearly prepared at some stage to give them a go, but we decide, no, let's not use any of them. Let's stick Samu on in a game that we have now lost. He's suspended for 6 games, and as we're going to get on to, we didn't win the following game. So as it all turns out, it was fucking pointless.
It was pointless, but it's not a player spitting at someone. You can't blame anyone except the player.
Oh, I know that, but it's just this thing now. Just I think my point is more along the lines
he shouldn't have been on.
Yeah, I wouldn't have stuck him on either, but there's nothing major can do about that.
I'm not saying Christiansen went, go on, mate, mix it up. And he what a bit of phlegm. Yeah, go on, stick it on him. But yeah, it's just frustrating, like you say, because there was a load of hype about the youngsters being on the bench and possibly getting in the game, and then there was no sight of them at all. None of them made it on. And it was just a horrendous day where we took nothing from it. At least if like Jack Clark or someone would have come on, then we could have gone, at least we've seen a couple of youngsters come on. And
the thing is, and all, I mean, to be fair to Lasogga, in this game, I did give him a little bit of leeway because he's coming back from injury, he's getting back to some sort of sharpness, so I could let it go a little bit with him, but towards end especially, at least he'd have run, Jack Clark. He'd have got in and amongst him. He'd have been out to try and make a name for himself, and there was just nothing, were there?
Yeah, I would never, ever, ever... There's a few things I'd never want to see. I'd never want to see a back four of Anita, Shaughnessy, Berardi and Borthwick Jackson ever again. I'd never want to see Lasogga and Grot up front again.
Saying that back line as well, I felt really sorry for Shaughnessy as well, because as comfortable as he has looked at centre-back at times, he's still not played there enough to the point where you'd say, oh yeah, put him at the back with Berardi, who never plays there either.
Yeah.
And again, we saw in the first half the amount of crosses going in that only Shaughnessy could really deal with. Yeah. And at that point, you're already saying, get Cooper on, and we waited 15-20 minutes to do that, and they were just doing the same thing over and over. It just got frustrating.
I say, but best will in world, even if Anita and Borthwick Jackson wouldn't box, Anita especially is never going to go up and challenge for a towering header, is he? It's just not what he's about.
But no, that would depend. I'm assuming, because the Leeds have said they're going to discipline him internally, I'm assuming that'll be 2 weeks wages, because I think that's the most you're allowed to do.
Yeah, I think didn't we fined Bowyer that, didn't we, before, and they were uproar, and then it came out that actually that is what you can do.
Can we not do it like the old champ managers, where you just fine him 2 weeks, then you just do it over and over again? So you fine him 8 weeks, but in just 2 week chunks.
Yeah.
And that's how you get someone to mutually terminate their contracts.
Don't pay them.
Yeah. Speaking of potentially fining people for being a fucking idiot, Leeds lost 1-0 at Ipswich, and that fucking idiot is Ewan O'Kane.
Just moron.
It's just the fact it's highlighted more from his comment at the press conference just 2 days before about Saiz and his behaviour. I
don't have it in front of me, but it was something like, obviously we're all disappointed in Samuel's behaviour, and so is he, and his And it's not. He wasn't even meant to quote Clerks. He wasn't even supposed to be there. Liam Cooper was meant to be there, and something happened.
It's just the fact it were Ewan and O'Kane and all that did it.
I thought it's the first red card of his career.
Yeah, we Jack with us on about it on way up here.
I love the fact because he did it, looked at the ref, and he halfway lifted his arm and went, yeah, I'm getting sent off. And he knew straight away, and he just had that brief moment of wandering back to... I think he wanted to shout at whatever knobhead it was that had gone down as if he'd been shot. I think he just looked and went, oh, bollocks to this.
It did go down easy, but... I mean, he headbutted him. Just because it wasn't a great headbutt.
I said as soon as I saw that video on Twitter of it that was doing the rounds, you just went, he's hammed it up so much. But if you give a player that opportunity, he's going to do it.
I say me and KC went and watched this at the Beanback, and to be honest, with the size of the Beanback screen and the resolution you get through LUTV, you couldn't really tell what happened.
You messaged me, didn't you, to find out what had happened properly? And I was like,
He could have backhanded him. He may have headbutted him. He might have done nothing.
On the LUTV screen, it looked like a push.
Well, Jack texts me and says, basically, what it read, yeah, 100%, yeah. But me and Jack were saying on way up here, if it had been Phillips or Vieira, or any of the younger ones, I'm not saying it's right, but you could have excused it and put it down to a bit of overzealousness from the younger players. But he's meant to be the experienced head in all this, and he's normally just so mild-mannered as well, and just out of nowhere, there you go.
Yeah, after the game, Christensen said we might appeal, but I think it was supposed to be done by 12 o'clock today, and we haven't.
No.
So
his post-match comments on that were bizarre. The line was, they have ruined our dreams and our plan with that head. Like, what dreams? Went to Ipswich with a dream of coming away with 3. Like, Jesus.
I think he's been talking to Peter Ridsdale to get inspiration about living the dream.
No, but I think Peter Ridsdale did take a job at Carillon.
That's the point.
It's bordering on satire there.
But yeah, he went off on this little thing about, well, if their players are going to make the most of these things, then maybe that's what we should start coaching them. And then Adam Pope went, you're not really going to do that, are you? And he went, no. It was so odd.
Yeah. Well, away from the idiocy of O'Kane in central midfield, we were better side when it were 11v11, and we were better side for a decent bit when we were 10v11 as well.
Last 10 minutes, we were peppering their goal, weren't we? It wasn't like we didn't give it a go.
Yeah. I'm aware going in that this is a low bar, but I thought it was Lasogga's best game for a long time when he came on.
Yeah.
He won five out of 6 in the air, won his flick-ons, had a decent effort on goal.
He made himself available quite a lot as well, especially when we had a few throw-ins. He always seemed to be getting into position to just receive it.
As I say, it's a low bar with his recent performances, but it was an improvement. Salina's goal was a belter.
Yeah, you can't really knock it, can you? It was a good finish.
They're backed off, but it's annoying, but they've been backing off all game.
Not only that and all. I'm not trying to glaze over it a little bit here, but Portman Road, we've always struggled at Portman Road.
Yeah.
As long as I can remember, we've always been poor there.
What was it they said? Was it that red card had made it 3 red cards in our last 5 games there?
I'm not sure.
Before the game?
I'm not sure if it's as few as that. It's definitely Tom Lee's got sent off a couple of years ago in the Warnock.
I'm sure.
Absolutely destroying
Eddie White
him game.
got a red card there.
Yeah. Eddie White did get sent off there, I think. Yeah, it's a while ago now,
but yeah, it was carrying on a nice little trend there because we don't have a good record.
No.
Yeah, we didn't. It hasn't changed. The prediction stuff hasn't changed because we all had wins against Newport, and me and Connie had wins against Ipswich in case he had a draw, so we got everything wrong.
Carry on listening though. We do know what we're on about, really.
Yeah, as overall's that bad. And to be honest, I would have picked us to get beat by Ipswich had I known that the Square Ball were going to release a podcast after the Newport game. Because
bloody curse.
The curse. It's a good job they've only done like 2 this season. Otherwise, we'd be in relegation zone. Yeah, there's been a bit of news. This one doesn't look like it's going to take as long as the last one did. Away from Leeds, Aita Karanka's new Forest manager. He'll do all right.
There you go.
I think a silence speaks volumes
literally,
there.
that's why I put that first, because I knew it wasn't going to take long. Luke Ayling.
This is a big.
This is way more important, and it leads to a couple of things. First, he's out for the season, probably. He might get back right at the end.
Yeah. Might do a Paddy.
Yeah. He's had surgery on him.
Come ambling on at Loftus Road. Still got a bandage round his head.
Could you imagine the Paddy bandage but round his ankle? It's weird tape.
Scared of losing my place in team. I think you're all right, Paddy.
But yeah, he's done something to like the cartilage and the ligaments in his ankle, so he's probably out for the season.
I suppose now we've got Debock in and Denton's back, and we have got Anita there as an option at left back. We can put Berardi where he's meant to be now. I suppose. You know, it's. I know Ayling's been a bit out of sorts recently, but it's going to be a big miss.
Yeah, I guess I should put that in with it then. Debock's deal done 4.5 years, about £1.5 million. All the Belgian writers and stuff seem to rate him relatively highly.
We said last week, didn't we? If he's been playing for Bruges, as long he's been in Europa League. I'm not 100%, but I dare say he'll have been involved in possibly some Champions League qualifying stages as well.
Yes, because they won league.
So he's been playing at a decent standard. So, yeah.
The only worrying thing that I read on him was I saw one Belgian writer. I think Phil Hay spoke to one of them, and it was in the Evening Post. And he said that it can sometimes look introverted on the pitch. Now, introverted on the pitch, Leeds fans can turn on quite quickly, because introverted on the pitch is what Lasogga looks like. It's what even when they are playing well, they sometimes look like they're not giving well, even though they are.
I think he can get away with it more though at left back than you can as playing a lone striker.
Yeah, true.
You can kind of mask over it a little bit, can't it? Yeah.
But yeah, you were saying with Ayling being out, obviously him being out for the season is a massive blow, because when he's on form, he's as good a fullback as you'll get in this division.
Yeah.
But with the signing of Debock helps, but we do have the option, and you can at least give it a week or so because you get till end of January. But would you bring back Louis Coyle?
No.
I wouldn't. I think we still now have, like you say, with Tyler Denton being back, we have two players for each position at fullback. So I think we're okay.
And none of them are Cameron Borthwick Jackson.
Yeah, I really wasn't counting him in that.
The only way I'd bring him back is if TC fancies him ahead of Berardi.
Yeah, if
he's going to come back and start,
I was going to say
then that's fine.
He's playing too well at Fleetwood. Sorry, mine went blank then. To have him come back and just be sat and playing in under 23s. So, nah.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the Fleetwood Leicester game in the FA Cup, and he had a fairly good game against them as well. Probably not as attacking as he normally would be against a League One side, but he's putting in his tackles, tracking his men well.
I think it'll be making of him, to be honest, this loan. And
I think you just think of, as much as we dislike him now, Charlie Taylor when he was at Fleetwood, played with them for a full season, got promoted with them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I look forward to Louis Coyle refusing to play for us in a couple of years.
Last game of next season, we all know what's going to happen now then.
The Ideguchi deal's also done, and in the end he did get a work permit, and he still went on loan to Leonessa. Especially with O'Kane being out for 3 games.
Yeah. It's okay.
Would you rather he was just here?
No, it's okay. We've got the boy.
Oh yeah, the boy's still here.
The boy is here.
I was going to say, as is the case with pretty much these positions that we're missing in. We've got Anita.
Yeah.
who can plug a gap.
I don't get.
According to TC, we've got Shaughnessy.
Yeah, no. I don't get why we've sent him to Leonessa then, if that's the case, unless it is purely just to get him used to playing in some form of European.
I said
sort
to
of
Jack,
football.
I think it was because we pretty much agreed the paperwork, we'd signed the paperwork and everything, and then he got his work permit. We went, well, we've agreed to it.
We've already done it now.
They'd already sent
It'll be some sort
boy
of
back.
and and as much as it pisses me off that this is a consideration, they probably already had said everything to Aspire and stuff about because Aspire actually own Leonessa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they'll have probably gone, well, yeah, you're getting him till end of season.
Yeah.
If we'd have said, you're not now. You know, you don't want to piss off the guitarists because loads of stuff I won't say in a podcast for fear of being sued could happen. England are playing Costa Rica at Ellen Road on Thursday, June 7th. Will you go?
No.
No.
I probably won't be in the country, so a solid no.
Probably
but
not.
It's quite nice that it's at Ellen Road.
I mean, I might go. I'll say how much tickets are and stuff, but
I'm not interested.
England. You get to go see England warm up for a World Cup that they're probably going to get knocked out of in the second round.
Yeah, I'm good. I've made my feelings towards England national team quite clear over the last few years to people who know me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Connie, you still having first 2 weeks at World Cup off, right?
Yeah, but, you know,
There's a lot of football to be watched.
yeah. This isn't purely for the England.
It's just 2 games
Part
a
of
day,
it.
man.
Yeah.
Sometimes 4.
Oliver Sarkic, who's been on loan and playing it under 23s all year, was signed permanently from Benfica.
Honestly, I'd completely forgotten about him until he signed.
Yeah, 2.5 year deal, option of another year. There was a fee, but it sounds like it was nominal. It wasn't much. Like
7 million.
There's one that happened actually in like the last few hours. I'm just getting it up now to check I've remembered right. Yeah, Liam Kitching, who was on the bench for that Newport game, has gone to Harrogate Town for a month.
Fair enough. It's some football. He's going to learn to be kicked up the arse by experienced pros for a month.
Harrogate, that's the National League North.
I'm not saying good. I'm just saying they've got experience.
It's the National League North, so it means that if they play York, he'll be against John Parkin.
Oh fuck!
You've got York. You've got Stockport County.
Yeah, there's a couple of decent sides in there. Hopefully, they play some of them while he's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, for a player of his age, it's probably good just to get a bit of experience in anyway.
Yeah.
And away from Leeds, more an ex-Leeds thing, but I thought I'd bring it up just because I already didn't like the guy. Does everyone remember the twat that is Gwen Williams?
Yep.
How could you forget?
Yeah, well, him and Graham Lives have been accused of some pretty bad racist abuse of young players at Chelsea in the 90s.
And homophobic. Don't forget homophobic.
No, that's not an accusation. That's fact.
That's been proved.
I mean, I aren't going to go into some of the stuff I said. There's a Guardian article about it. Google it.
Did anyone see the thing that Emil Heskey came out and said about it all?
No.
Basically, that when he was coming up through the youth system,
which is early to mid 90s,
that he found that racism was just commonplace and you learn to grow with it. And I just thought it's a bit sad, is that, to be honest with you, that someone. I know he gets a lot of stick, but this is a player who played in Premier League for a long time, and for someone of
got 50 odd England caps.
Yeah, to be coming out saying that
he's got 5 goals.
But for someone to be coming out and saying that, anyone, to be fair, but when you get high profile people out coming out saying it's not good, is it?
Yeah, I can't really say anything about the accusations because they're not proven and it would be unfair. But I can say that, like Graham Lasso in his book said, that he used to come up to him and say, come on, Puff, get your boots on, and stuff like that. And he got sacked from Leeds for sending porno images to everyone, including like the women that work there and stuff.
Yeah.
So even if this turns out to not be true, he is definitely an arsehole.
It's not only that. I mean, the wording of that quote you've just used from Graham Lasso, I'm not excusing it, but if you're going back to like late 80s, early 90s, different terminology were acceptable back then, and I'm not excusing it.
Trust me,
but
I've read the Guardian piece. This isn't.
No.
This is not.
See, I've not read it.
No, this is not changing times.
Right.
This is, this is...
If true, it's just wrong on every level,
It's pretty horrific.
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't actually realise how bad Graham Rix's past was until I read that article.
He's got a very shady past.
Well, he's been to jail for doing basically what Adam Johnson did.
He, if I remember rightly, did Portsmouth give him a chance?
A few places did afterwards, but the thing that I didn't realise is he admitted it all, went to jail, came out, and immediately got his job back at Chelsea.
Brilliant.
Which I'd never realised. And as far as
the most forgiving industry.
But I believe, because you don't hear a lot about that no one realises that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, could you imagine if fucking Sunderland signed Adam Johnson on his first day out of prison?
Well, look at the backlash that Chesterfield were going to get and Oldham over Ched Evans.
Yeah. Can I just say, I thought you were going to say, yeah, but look where Sunderland are in the table.
This is a guy that's got international experience now.
But yeah, that was a in fairness,
just for the record, by the way.
Well, Graham Rix got rehired and they won the FA Cup.
Just for the record, by the way, I'm not sympathising there with Adam Johnson. I do hope he's getting fucking booted around a prison courtyard somewhere playing football for what he's done.
But no, on to the more interesting bit of January, all the rumours. A couple of them, there's not really much to say. Charlton Benshop from Hanover. It's another guy who's at a German club that ain't getting anywhere near. We've already got one of them. Don't need another one.
No.
And he's got a much worse record than Sogger. So. But the Tobias Figueiredo rumour's back. A 23-year-old centre-back from Sporting Lisbon. It was all over press in December. And it sort of drifted away, and it's all Portuguese press has come back. I believe the quote was, "The ball is in Leeds United's court."
If I remember right, want they like a couple of million fee being bounded around it? It cost us
like 2.5, something like that.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
When you think Portuguese players, you think centre backs.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I know there have been a couple of good, very good defenders.
I was just going to say Pepe, Carvalho.
It's not what you think of Portuguese,
Semedo.
though. It's in the same way you go, we want a Brazilian in. What do you want a Brazilian in? Holding midfielder.
Yeah, because Fernandinho's shit.
I'm just saying, it's not what you think of.
And you're saying about, thinking of centre-backs for, Portuguese players. You've missed out quality players who Chelsea have had, like Maniche.
Now, on to the...
Everyone forgets Maniche.
including Mrs. Bassine.
Lovely.
Nice. As a reference. On to the more interesting ones. This one came up a lot after Ayling's injury. James Justin from Luton. He's 19. He's been their first choice right back for a year and a half now. Luton turned down a bid from Forest in summer of about £1 million and he signed a contract extension, so it'll probably cost more than that. We've had scouts there looking at him according to everything that tracks that sort of thing. I can't confess to seeing him play, but he's been fairly highly rated.
Luton have been going great guns and all, haven't they?
With a lot of decent young players as well.
So if he's been in team for 18 months or so, and he's only 19, it says a lot. Yeah,
and it's probably worth looking at as having a good youngster in there.
Yeah,
but I think it also comes down to how much we think Louis Coyle will come into the team. Because if we're going to spend a couple of million to get a 19-year-old, then realistically, you're probably looking at Coyle and thinking, well,
he's back.
Do we need two of them as well as Luke Ayling?
Yeah.
I was going to say, you'd like to think that for now, whoever did come in, once Ayling's back, provided he ain't playing out of his skin, be it Coyle, him, or whoever, Ayling's going to be back in.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, with
in theory, though, it's a decent link. Yeah,
it seems decent enough, but pardon me, I agree with KC. Really, I think if they rate Coyle, don't bother. Just play Berardi.
Well, he's more than capable.
Yeah,
it's
fine. He did look more comfortable at right back.
Yeah,
against
well, it
didn't really get mentioned because we were so pissed off about the Ipswich game, but we barely talked about it. Now on to ones where there's definitely something there, and we're on to two. And to be honest, I want both of them. The only problem is I think they might be a bit too expensive for players from League One. but Jack Marriott and Marcus Maddison from Peterborough. There's been loads of places saying we had scouts there, and Darren McAntony came out and said that the Leeds have had scouts at their last 7 or 8 games.
Yeah. Well, we've been linked with Marcus Maddison in summer as well, weren't we?
Well, the Marcus Maddison one's annoying because we already agreed a deal with him. It was in January 2016. Barry Fry said it in an interview with BBC Sport a few months ago. Basically, we agreed a deal. It was like $1.5 million. It was like $1.5 million because his contract was up at end of season. All done, ready to go. And Cellino tried to change the deal after it was all agreed.
Of course, it's fucking Cellino. And
And I mean, I know that Barry Fry is.
let's
say a personality.
It's a colourful character.
Can I say I trust Barry Fry more than I trust Cellino?
Yeah, exactly.
This is a man who's openly admitted to going and pissing in corner flags and all sorts.
But apparently Maddison was absolutely fucking gutted about it. He really wanted this deal to happen, but this season, Marcus Maddison, who can play number 10 or wide, he can play on left as well. He's only 24 this season, 9 goals and 20 assists in half a season.
Fair play.
Which is unreal. And Marriott's only 23 as well, and he's got 23 goals this season. Good pace, good movement. It sounds a lot like... I mean, those are...
If you could get the pair of them, you're laughing, but it's like you say, it's a lot of money.
I know it's League One, but those are...
I bet you're talking 10 million.
Those are Beckford, Snodgrass, Gradle numbers.
I reckon to sign the pair of them. How long's Maddison got now
Maddison
on his deal?
signed a contract extension, so I think he's got 2.5 years.
So if
and Marriott, I think, is similar.
So if they're saying $4 million for Marriott, you can probably say about the same, maybe a little bit more for Maddison.
I think you'd need 10 to get both, I think.
Definitely,
like,
yeah. To be
certain.
definite of it, yeah.
Apparently, Peterborough have turned down bids from half the Championship approaching $4 million for Marriott.
It made you wonder whether, and I know
it makes me want
to.
But the one weird thing is, I've always kept. I mean, not in like the way that I actually like you there. I've always been interested in Peterborough purely from being a kid, and I had a really good save on Premier Manager '98. So I've always just all through my life just kept an eye on how they're getting on. I haven't even always liked them because when they had Darren Ferguson, I hated them, but I still kept an eye, and I've watched them when they've been on telly a few times. And they both look as if they'd walk into a Championship team. It
makes you wonder, though. I mean, I know it's a bit of a long shot, but we've got a lot of strikers out on loan and, aren't really, or, there's question marks about them at our club. Whether we could maybe offer them as a mate weight. If we're thinking Antonsen ain't going to come back, I'm not saying to take it.
I feel like if we offered Antonsen, it would be...
I'm not saying just Antonsen. I'm not just saying... we will take him and give you him.
I was going to say it's either going to be 5 million for Jack Marriott or 4.75 million and Antonsen.
The thing is, as well, I don't think Antonsen would go.
No, I think Blackburn...
Well, Blackburn...
are a big club in that league, aren't they? So
Blackburn can afford to basically pay his wages that he's on at Leeds. Yeah. And if he does go there permanently, they'll be able to pay him not far off. As much as... I mean, you wouldn't... If you're going to play in League One, you'd play for Blackburn, you wouldn't play for Peterborough.
See, if we left it till summer, we could really test Victor Arthur and get him to sell J.Y. Grott to him.
They wouldn't take him. The one thing they seem to have a good knack for is getting decent strikers. Mikhail Smith, Sombalonga,
Aaron
McLean, George Boyd, Connor Washington.
Yeah, God, hey, were there?
They have a real eye for a striker down there. Whoever signs their strikers, whichever scout it is, because they're all from like non-league and stuff. They've signed another one last week. Whoever it is, we ought to hire them because they seem to be spot on with it.
Yeah, save the money on those two players. Just get the scout instead. Yeah. It's very Moneyball. we want to sign your pitcher. No, we want to sign the guy that's in charge of that's in your recruitment team. Get him in.
But yeah, I have to admit, I want both of them.
I would say though, with Marriott, obviously, I think if he came in, he'd be our first choice striker.
Getting 23 goals in half a season is a lot.
Madison is a different one.
He won't play at 10 for us. It wouldn't size his fit.
I don't know which position you'd play him in. Would you play?
He'd probably.
Do you think? Would you have him first choice right midfield?
He would
because obviously size is 10. Alioski's out wide.
He would rotate probably
with Roof.
Roof would be on bench. I would think Alioski and Hernandez and him would be the first choice three for the two wide positions.
I think the Maddison one, I'm with Casey a little bit. It'd be a good amount of money for him to be in and out of the team
But
and rotated.
I also have to admit, though, that I think from the bit I've seen of him, I think as much as this sounds like sacrilege, I still don't think Hernandez will be here next season.
No, we don't
He's
need
been
to plan
good enough.
for that.
He's been good enough to be.
Yeah.
I just don't think he will be.
I think the thing is, obviously, if I kind of agree with you, I'm not sure Hernandez will be here next season, but as we say, Saiz is going to be the number 10. But we have fairly strong options for wingers in between. Just looking at Roof, Dallas, and Alioski, Kibitsky. That's 4.
Can go out there.
And I think if we're going to spend the sort of money that it's going to take to get Maddison in, he's going to have to play.
Oh yeah.
So it means
I'd say
you have to drop one of those.
I really rate both of them, so I would love to have them. If I had to have one, I'd have Marriott.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think.
Well, I mean, we really need we really need to settle on a first choice striker now, because I think the problem with getting Lusaka in on loan is it wasn't a solution to us selling Wood. It was, Wood is gone. We need someone. But
it's clear, and it's cost us dear. If we'd have had a Chris Wood this year, everything else is there.
Yeah.
When we turn up and we play, we will trouble most teams in this league. I've got no doubt about it. We just haven't got that killer instinct though up front. It's been shown in flashes, and Roof's done well when he's gone up there, but I wouldn't rely on Roof week in, week out up front, not on his own, and that's not a pop at him. And I think, going back to the Marcus Maddison deal, the only way, to me, it could realistically happen is if you lose one of Dallas or Roof, and I don't think any of us would be too happy about that, to be honest.
No, I wouldn't want to lose them. No. I have to be honest, if I was picking a club that might sign Maddison, I could see him go to Norwich, because they've just sold Pritchard to Huddersfield for like 12 million.
Yeah, they have, haven't they? Yeah.
And it sounds like James Maddison.
He could do so much better than not where Norwich are at the moment.
But it sounds like James Maddison might go as well. So they're going to have money to spend and need a centre attacking mid.
Yeah.
So I could see that happening.
And they'll still be getting parachute payments now, won't they, this year?
I think this is their last year.
And they sold a couple of players in the summer.
Yeah.
So they can afford to pay money, so they're good for that.
I could see that happening.
I think if you look at the spending we've
and apparently, and Villa want both of them as well after they ripped them apart in FA Cup.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the way we've been spending money this season, that we haven't been laying out massive fees for anyone. Again, we're dropping a million to a couple of million on players, but nothing daft. I think for a striker, I think if we've identified the striker like Marriott, I think we would spend the money on it, but I don't think we'd do it for two players.
No. I honestly think if we can get Marriott for 5 million,
snap their hand off.
I think he's. I mean, look, I don't know. I'm just a fucking bloke that sits and watches it, but I think he'll be worth it. Really, from what I've seen of him, his movement looks great. He's got enough pace. His finishing looks good.
Well, I work with a Bradford City fan, and he's raving over Charlie Wyke at the moment. I know he's been knocking him in for fun.
Charlie Wyke, what I've seen of him looks pretty good.
But
he's
not nearly as good as him.
as well, isn't he? He's not.
Yeah, he'll be a similar age to Marriott, I think, early 20s. But
he's not been there long.
No, they got him off Carlisle, didn't they, for about $500,000.
Yeah, and he raves about him, does this Bradford fan. But he said when Bradford played Peterborough, Marriott's head and shoulders above him, and this is player this in Wyke who's been knocking him in for fun as well. So yeah.
Well, we were saying that we might not spend too much on transfer fees. Well, there's 2 left. One of them probably wouldn't be that much of a transfer fee, but it'd be a lot in wages.
You'd explode.
One of them will be a lot in both. We'll go to my boy first.
Oh, here we go.
It's been being talked about for a while, and it ain't going away. Adam Clayton.
Clayton could be back.
Right. You may have noticed, anyone that follows the podcast account, that I mentioned it. It was at a weird hour. Because I've been on nights. but I managed to go back and find on my personal account my tweets from when Clayton went. And if anyone saw that, you'll know how much I fucking loved Adam Clayton. He was like,
When Neil Warnock realised how much we needed Lee Peltier instead.
yeah. I've always said he did a lot of things at Leeds that were poor. But the thing I can't forgive Neil Warnock for is he watched a midfield three of Adam Clayton, Michael Brown and Danny Pugh and went, we need to get rid of Clayton. I need Tong.
Who's this Ross Barkley fellow we've got on loan? He's not up to it. Brownie, get on there, lad. But
no, I really rate Adam Clayton, and apparently Pulis don't like him at all. He was playing in under 23s.
Just a sidetrack. Who does Ross Barkley play for now? I can't remember.
Nobody's.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
He fell down leagues. Cheltenham, I think. But yeah.
Whereas look at Norris. Forrest got a solid career at Plymouth, I think, after us.
Yeah.
He's got his wonderful fitness centre going in Pontefract and the other one in Leeds.
What you've got to say though about him is he looked far better in them tight Macron kits than Adam Clayton.
Why did he never
would've.
Model? Dashing man.
But basically, would you two have him back?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
He'd be back and I'd drop O'Kane.
Well,
That's
O'Kane's
how much
going to be suspended anyway.
No, but O'Kane wouldn't get back in. It would be one of Phillips and Vieira and Clayton. Definitely, 100%.
Honestly, yeah, I think it kind of different to sort of Marcus Maddison. I think, yes, if you're going to bring him in, then we're obviously going to have to drop one of our midfielders. But I don't know. I'd maybe look at. I don't know if Phillips is at an age now where we could even maybe loan him out for.
I wouldn't loan him out. He's far too good for that.
He's either good enough to be here or we sell him.
Yeah, I must admit, I think if we got him, it'd become a rotate. You know, like at minute we say any two from the three of O'Kane, Phillips, Vieira.
Yeah.
Well, I think it'd become any two of the three, Clayton, Phillips, Vieira.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that I've slagged him off for what he did against Ipswich, but you have to because he deserved it. But I do actually rate Ewan O'Kane, but I've always had a. I nearly phrased that as had a thing for Adam Clayton.
Go with it.
But that's actually not far off true. I mean, he was the background on my phone forever. That goal away at West Ham.
Oh God!
Not even his best goal, but it's the one I enjoyed.
The way just jumped into the crowd nearly. Yeah. God, we should have won that game. Looking back,
it was such a brilliant. He's got a goal in him. He can get up and down. Passing's fine. He gets stuck in. He's got a lot more experience. He's the exact thing that I think his midfield's missing.
He has Premier League experience at this point.
It's his wages, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what worries me. I mean, when he went to Borough, he'll have gone on to a decent wage. The thing is, it'll have gone up when they went up, but it might have gone back down when they went down, because they normally put clauses in both ways, don't they?
I still reckon he'll be 30-40 grand a week easy, all day long.
But if we sign
so maybe if he fancies it, you might get him for 25.
Yeah.
But if we sign Clayton, what happens to Click?
The same thing that happens to Click if we don't sign Clayton. He leaves.
At some point in the next 2 weeks, he'll be on a plane out of here from Leeds Bradford.
Yeah. Mateus, make like a tree and get out of here.
I don't know if you noticed, but I think since about the middle of... Pretty much since the time I got back, I think I've managed to, in some way, squeeze Click into the podcast without him ever doing anything.
It's just for posterity, so people remember he was here once. You know, the not that many people that listen to it. Yeah. The one that Twitter seems to really, really want, and I would like him, just not at the price that's being quoted. Jordan Hugill from Preston. Who I didn't realise he's only 25 still.
No, I thought we were older than that.
Yeah, he played really well at Ellen Road, but again, it was in a 0-0.
How much are they suggesting for
They
them?
reckon the upfront is 8 million.
Go for Marriott.
Yeah, I'd say go for Marriott.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't see us spending 8 million.
I don't think he's worth it anyway, to be honest. I'd go for Marriott.
He's more of a workhorse and a target man, and you know, his hold-up play is good and stuff, but he's not as much of a natural goal scorer.
We
need prolific.
I don't want to spoil anything that's coming up later, but you just said a workhorse, a grafter.
Hashtag the shift.
Yeah, I'm looking at a name that's written further down our notes here. Are we looking for Steve Morrison?
Imagine if that was the answer.
Oh, just by the way, in 10 years, we have to pitch that to Channel 4, looking for Steve Morrison. In fact, no, Channel 5.
Yeah.
We've looked all over for him. Did you look on the right wing? Oh, there he is.
Well, Millwall.
He's over there with J. Roy.
Well, Millwall
Talking
fans.
to Darko.
No, Millwall fans do tend to be right wing.
But no, the Ogle thing, it's not for 8 million. Nah, keep him. Not only that, I'm just reading his contract's up at the end of next season. I think we could get him for 5 if we wanted to pursue it.
I reckon we could at the end of the season. I don't think you could in January.
No.
I mean, he did put in a transfer request when we were linked with him in the summer, so I think he fancied it. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's Preston to Leeds.
Yeah.
And it's gone well for people before that move, especially for strikers.
Yeah. It's just, I'm with KC. We're not going to spend £8 million on one player. It's not going to happen. And out of the two, if they are genuine options, we've got to marry it every day.
Yeah, I'd definitely, of the two, I'd rather have Marriott.
I do think at this stage, though, if you look at how the league table sits now, I think if we sign a striker or the striker that we sign will pretty much be an indication of how the season will finish for us at this point, because clearly we've got this far into the season, we still don't have a nailed on first choice striker. No. None of our strikers have been particularly prolific. No. And I just think if we either go for a cheap option or we leave it, I think that'll be a point that's going to cost us.
Speaking of cheap options, did you see Habibou trolling on Twitter?
No.
He just tweeted hashtag LUFC and like a smiley face. And Twitter went into meltdown. Oh, God, no!
Habib's back.
Shit, he's back.
Been playing out in Qatar, apparently.
Just imagine
the Aspire Academy.
He's back. Yeah. He's better than ever.
That's not hard.
Like going back to 2012 again, wasn't it? 13, Clayton, Habib. Get them all in.
Maybe you can run into him out on piss again.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was emotional, meeting Habib pissed up in academy.
Just start having playing at night games. You don't want hoofing wildlife into advertising audience anymore.
Duck? What? No, on the floor.
Oh, that duck. Bang.
Right, well, back by popular demand, by which I mean you didn't seem to mind it and a few of you actually liked it. Another MWP quiz, but this time it's me doing it. So it's Connie against KC. What I decided to do was do one themed around the FA Cup, which would have been a lot better if we hadn't been shit and got knocked out by Newport.
We've got far bigger fish to fry anyway, don't worry, but it's fine.
Yeah. So basically, does anyone have a coin to decide who goes first? Because mine are alternate questions.
I have, yes.
There's 10 questions apiece. You can steal if they get it wrong. And then we'll do one of KC's amazingly titled Who Playeds after.
Playeds. I like it. That's a good word.
Heads or tails?
Heads.
Tails it is.
Do you want first or second?
I will go second.
Connie has taken second.
Wait, hang on. Are we doing this A, B, B, A or A, B, A, B?
No, this is just
All right, fair enough. It's not the League Cup then.
So basically, what we will do is get our amazing Dom to put in the quiz bed music now. So, KC. In January 1996, Leeds won at Derby 4-2 in the FA Cup third round. Leeds had 4 different goal scorers that day. Can you name 2 of them?
Ooh, right, 96. Dean.
Is correct.
McAllister.
Is also correct. So you've got the point.
Word.
Just out of curiosity, you might as well have a go at the others.
Speed.
is correct.
Wallace.
Unlucky, Yeboah.
It was between him.
But
between those two.
Fair play.
I was going to say between Rod. I was going to say Wallace or Yeboah.
Yeah, but he'd already got the points. So, Connie, in the 96-97 season, Leeds knocked out Arsenal in the FA Cup. But which second-tier side knocked Leeds out at Ellen Road in the 5th round?
Hey, Sarah. It was Wolves, wasn't it? Oh, no, it wasn't. No.
He knows exactly what he did there.
Yeah,
He
go
knows
on,
he's thinking of the wrong year, KC.
It's Portsmouth.
It is indeed Portsmouth.
Oh, it was 98-99, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The Arsenal one, we played Arsenal like 3 times in 4 games.
Yeah.
Yep. Back to KC, who could get a lead, but I think some of these are quite tough.
Right.
But I'm not sure. It was weird. I kept trying to do questions and I went, nah, it's way too easy. So, I think he'll get this one actually. Leeds could only manage a 1-1 draw away at Gillingham in the 4th round in February 2003, but who was sent off for elbowing player-manager Andy Hessenthaler?
Was it Alan Smith?
It was not.
Ooh.
I thought you'd remember this because I can remember this really clearly.
No, when you said it.
All I remember is Andy Hessenthaler looking up to see what the ref was doing, then putting his head back down.
I'm going to go with David Batty.
The answer was Mark Viduka.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
I mean,
He's done it a couple of times.
So, back to Connie. On the 9th of January 2000, Leeds beat Manchester City at Main Road. It was a bit of a goal fest, but what was the final score?
Oh, Jesus. This is just plucked out of thin air.
Yeah.
4-2 Leeds.
Is not correct.
It's 5-2.
It is 5-2.
He's so close.
The reason why it's another game that
That
it was on telly and everything.
Top of the Premiership versus top of the First Division.
First Division then, yeah.
So KC has raced into a 3-0 lead after 4 questions. And now we're back to him. Following on from the Manchester City match, Leeds lost at Aston Villa in the next round. But who scored a hat-trick for Aston Villa?
Paul Merson.
Incorrect.
What?
I think you must be thinking of a different game, Connie.
Again, this is a bit of a guess. Dion Dublin.
No, the answer is Benito Carbone.
It is Carbone.
Jesus Christ.
Can you remember that?
Benito Carbone.
Can you remember that goal he scored from that 35-yard in Martin's near post?
Oh, God, yeah.
It was that.
Jesus.
I've just remembered now because it's Merson, I think, gets an assist and also gets his head caved in for the second or third.
So, Connie. In January 1999, which non-league side got a 0-0 draw to earn a replay at Ellen Road in the 3rd round?
He knows this as well.
It's just kicked in.
I would say this is one of the ones that you should get. If you don't get this, you'll be annoyed at yourself.
No, it's gone. Go on.
Rushton and Diamonds.
Is correct.
Jesus Christ. Love this quiz. Right,
This one is not going well. I reckon this is harder than the one me and you did. I have to be honest. These ones aren't that easy, but both these next 2 questions are from the same game, so it's kind of fair. I reckon yours is slightly more difficult of the 2. Right.
Bodes well.
In the following round, Leeds beat Portsmouth 5-1 at Fratton Park, but which Welshman made his first team debut in the match?
Oh, I think, yeah.
Oh, is it my question?
Yes.
Oh, lovely. Matthew Jones?
Is correct. And in the same match, which Norwegian made his only first team appearance?
Oh.
As you're down in this, I'm going to say he's a former Leeds United Young Player of the Year.
I'm gonna, and again, this is it's a pure guess. Tommy Narvik.
Tommy Narvik is correct.
Yes.
It is correct.
He's
I'm
off
on
the
the
mark.
board. Yes.
He's off the mark.
We're not dead yet.
I must admit, until I did research, I didn't realise that was the only time he ever played.
Yeah,
Because he won Young Player of the Year back when he didn't play.
Well, Narvik came in my head, and then
That's how
I
good he was
thought.
for the reserves.
Well, Narvik came in my head. I thought he must have played more than once, surely. But
KC. In January 2006, Leeds drew 3-3 with Wigan in a 3rd round replay before losing on penalties. Everyone remembers Gary Kelly's screamer, but who scored Leeds' other 2 goals?
We had a lot of strikers then as well.
We
I
did.
said we were QPR at this point. We had about 12. I think I've got one of them for definite.
It's the same person that scored the other two.
Oh, is it?
That's the point, yeah.
Robbie Blake.
It's incorrect.
Eddie Lewis.
It's also incorrect. The stars in the bright sky look down where he lay.
It just seemed too obvious to be Healy.
So, Connie, in November 2007, following relegation to League One, Leeds made their earliest ever entry into the FA Cup. But which League Two side knocked out Leeds in the first round?
He's looking at all. He knows this one as well.
I don't.
The problem with it having to stay FA Cup themed is you're quite limited, so you had to go fairly difficult.
I'm going to say, as a guess, Notts County.
It's incorrect.
I honestly don't have a clue. I'm just going to say Yeovil.
No. You'll remember when I say it, Hereford United.
Did the beat at Elland Road?
Yeah, 1-0.
1-0 at Elland Road,
Of
yeah.
course it is.
I think he'll get this one. KC. The following season, Leeds required a replay to get past Northampton Town. They won the game 5-2. But who scored his only Leeds United goal with a long-range drive in that game?
Was it Ben Parker?
It is Ben Parker.
Yep.
Good friend Ben Parker.
Yeah, but this, again, there's two from the same game here now. Connie, in December 2009, Leeds beat Kettering 5-1 at Elland Road after extra time. Which former Leeds player scored the equaliser for Kettering? That's a tough question.
Jesus Christ.
If you actually, once you know, you'll know why I asked.
Connie, look at me.
That's a hell of a clue.
Striker. Anthony Eldon.
Yeah.
He ain't heavy, he's my brother, apparently.
Yeah, you'll get this. KC in the same match, Leeds scored 4 goals in 11 minutes in extra time. Trezor Candor and Jermaine Beckford got 1 each. Who got 2?
Mike Greller.
Mike Greller is correct.
He'll always have that game.
That and Carlisle away in the JPT.
Yeah.
Second one, so back to Connie. Following Leeds' win over Scum in 2010, Leeds went to White Hart Lane to face Tottenham. Match finished 2-2. Who had a penalty saved by Kasper Ankergren?
I want to say Roman Pavlyuchenko.
Is incorrect.
Ooh.
He did score in that game.
Right.
Thanks for reminding me of his existence.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you know what's weird? You know, before I looked this up, that's what I'd have said as well.
I remember him scoring goal because it was a right through ball, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You just didn't have a chance, did it, Ankergren?
The only...
This was, of course, the penalty following Danny Rose getting kicked in the bollocks.
Never a penalty. The only player I can think of is Jermaine Defoe.
Is correct.
Rightos.
He's picking up a lead.
Yeah, I'm giving up at winning at this point.
KC, the replay of that match finished 3-1 to Spurs, who scored Leeds' goal.
I was there as well.
We were all there.
Yeah.
We didn't all go together, but we were all in the same stand.
I think me and my dad might have gone with you and your mum.
No, you didn't.
Or did...
Me, you, your dad, and your dad's mate went, and he were with his mum.
Ah, right.
Because I was
we
back
were all in
from
West Stand.
Yeah.
I was back from uni.
Because I can
then.
remember, because they walked past us, they were right next to us.
Well, I know this.
Yeah.
I finally know one.
Is it Bradley Johnson?
It is not.
It's Becchio.
It is Becchio.
The Bradley, I'm thinking, was it Arsenal?
Yeah, Johnson with a screamer, yeah.
Fortunately, I didn't put that one in the quiz because it was such a good goal. It was such a good goal that everyone will remember. Connie, you should get this because I went to this game with you.
Jesus, right.
No pressure.
Leeds nearly took another big scalp the next season when they drew 1-1 at the Emirates against Arsenal. Leeds' goal was a Snodgrass penalty, but who was fouled for the penalty?
Gradle.
It was Max
Yeah,
Gradle.
Max Gradle, yeah. Wait, Danielson that
It
fouled
was
him.
Danielson.
Yeah.
I ought to
You know, I
have
start
started-
getting in like random facts now to stop. But yeah, you can have a bonus point there for that.
I wish I could give you one, but
Gold star.
yeah. Okay, so in January 2015, Leeds lost 1-0 at Sunderland in the third round. 2 players made their first starts for Leeds United. Name either of them.
Oh. Dario Del Fabro.
Is correct. I went for either because the other one's quite tough. Who was the other one? Just to see if you...
Is this open or?
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Con. If you can get the other one, I'll give you a point because you're a bit behind.
Brian Montenegro.
Is correct.
That is what I was thinking.
Casey is still up 9-5, but
I'm not dead yet.
yeah, back to Even though Connie got a bonus question, it was just to keep... Because the problem is in the who played, I don't think you'll get many wrong.
Okay.
So,
In other words, it's just giving Div Kid a chance, that's all.
in the third round on 30th of January 2016, Leeds won 2-1 at Bolton. Who scored on his first start for the club, having joined 5 days earlier for around 575k?
Jesus Christ, he's just left. Diego Varga.
Tamani Diego Varga,
yeah.
That's correct.
I wouldn't have got that.
Yeah.
Final 2 questions. KC. In the third round in 1998, Leeds won 4-0 against Oxford. Scummy Australian bastard scored twice and Jimmy Hasselbank scored a penalty. But who scored the first of his 3 goals for the club when he opened for scoring?
That is Lucas Radaby.
It is indeed Lucas Radaby. And finally, Leeds were knocked out in the 4th round of the FA Cup by Liverpool in 2001, losing 2-0 at Anfield. Emil Heskey scored in injury time to seal it, but which future Leeds player scored the opening goal having come off the bench?
When were this, sorry?
It was 2001, and it was 4th round, so it'll have been late January, early Feb.
It's between 2. I know it's definitely not one of the ones that I'm thinking of. I know it's going to be wrong. Fowler.
Is incorrect.
Is it Nick Barmby?
It is Nick
That's
Barmby.
what it was between Fowler and Barmby.
Yeah.
I
I can see why you choose Fowler though.
I thought it's too late for Don Matteo. It's between them 2.
Yeah. Well, at the end of that, KC has an 11-6 lead. So you are technically still in it,
I'm confident.
but he would have to make a 8 bollocks from here on out.
I'll tell you what though, if this is a fairly recent game, there's every chance.
Yeah.
It isn't that recent, and it's quite a big game. Just because it's the easier thing to do, we'll have Connie go first.
Alright.
Because, that's the easiest way. Should I just
Big
give...
crap.
Shall we go with just the standard 1 life on who played?
Yeah.
Lucky life. So, yeah.
January 3rd, 2010.
Right.
Scum 0, Leeds 1. Who played? Connie.
Beckford. Solid, just getting it in there early.
Beckford is correct.
Naylor.
Naylor is correct.
Johnson.
Bradley Johnson, correct.
Jason Crow.
Is
My boy.
also correct. I nearly asked who scored for Northampton, who scored one of the goals for Northampton in that 5-2, because Jason Crow scored.
Yep. Johnny Howson.
Is correct.
I'm struggling a bit now.
Go on, fuck up. Just remember, if you were to burn through your life and he got the rest, he can still come back in.
Did we name the keeper?
No.
Ankergren.
Is correct.
This is first risky one. Mickey Doyle.
The Doyler, he did play.
course.
Get in, I'll have that.
Of course, it was the time of Hoyle, as we called them.
By the way, I will say they did make 3 subs, so
I was just
there
gonna
is
say,
an,
we're having
there is
the
an even
subs.
number.
Yeah.
Becchio?
Is correct.
I don't remember Becchio playing me in that game. I wouldn't have said Becchio. No. Kilkenny.
Is correct.
I'm trying to think of the other central defender. Was it Kisnorbo?
It was indeed.
Attention.
Well, you've got 10 of the 14.
Jesus.
I think that might mean that Connie can't win.
Andy Hughes.
Andy Hughes is correct.
Of course, Hughesy came on.
Just so you're aware, that's the starting lineup done.
Alright.
Andy Hughes started. I thought he came off at bench, I'll be honest. Fair enough.
Oh, he was the left back.
I was running through my head. Who played left back? I'm thinking Parker White.
And did Kilkenny start? Wow.
He was another one I thought I'd come off at bench and all. So we've just got the 3 subs left now.
3 substitutes. I would say one of them is easy to get if you think about the game. The other 2, not so much.
Right.
Mikulik.
Is correct.
That's a belting call. Well
came on
played.
for Luciano Becchio after 88 minutes.
Jesus Christ. Christ.
Poor Luciano.
So there's 2 left. Connie. That's one of the ones that was difficult.
Snodgrass.
Yep. Did you remember his free kick?
Yeah, it bad. Yeah, thinking. No, I hesitated. I thought.
I thought
no one
that-
said Snoddy.
Yeah, that's
thought
the
that-
one that I thought you should get because of his free kick.
Yeah.
I thought that was at Arsenal. But,
No.
So there is one more player.
ooh.
And I'll level with you, came on in the 92nd minute.
Jesus, right.
If in doubt, do what Grayson did. Mike Grella.
Is incorrect, your lifestyle. I haven't actually got who were the unused subs,
I assume.
so he may have been one of them.
Just thinking defenders. 92nd minute, I'm just thinking defence. Lee Bromby.
Is incorrect. Back to KC, your lives have both gone.
Rui Marquez.
Incorrect.
Oh.
Carlo. Jesus Christ.
For tension for a question that's not going to make a difference.
I know I've mentioned him already. It's the only name I can think of. Eddie White.
Eddie White is
I'll
correct.
take it.
There you go.
Well, you did win that bit, but in the end, it is 17-14.
I'm claiming a moral victory.
And
I got it
That's
back.
actually fairly
you
close, yeah, by the
you
end.
got it back a bit towards the end. But that'll do us. Connie is 0-2.
Shit, anyway, I didn't want to win anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll do us for the quiz. As I thought that one was a bit tougher than the one KC did, but it's just because the other thing that I realised was it was a bit depressing going through it. You were limited on questions because the number of times we go out in whatever the first round we are in
Yeah.
is.
What I will probably do for next week is do one based on Leeds United transfers, seeing as though we're in transfer window. So
Yeah.
next week I'll
That's
probably
it.
do one.
I know
like
we've
that.
done one, but it's easy to do questions for and stuff,
yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
not a bad
I was
plan.
going to say, like, the Who Played, they're quite fun and
Yeah.
fairly easy. Just pick a team,
Yeah.
copy and paste the players that played.
Yep.
It's production notes right there for you.
But anyway, we've only got one game to preview this time because after this, there's no game for like 10 days because we're not in the cup.
Yay!
Yeah.
Can rest and then we'll lose again.
We are, once again, time for a terrible impression because we are once again at home to fucking Millwall.
Fucking Millwall.
Fucking slag.
Fucking love their fucking mothers.
Yeah. They're 16th in the league, 31 points from 27. Last 5, drew 1-0 with Preston, beat Barnsley 4-1 in FA Cup, lost 2-1 at Norwich, beat QPR 1-0, got 2-0 with Wolves, so they're not in bad nick. In the away game, we got beat 1-0 and we were absolutely awful. It could have been 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Their goal was offside, but they also had a perfectly good goal disallowed, so it was kind of fair. When you look at their team just on paper, they really don't look to have much. I mean, Jordan Archer's an okay keeper. Sean Hutchinson, they've been raving about at centre-back. Apparently, he's been really good this season.
James Meredith.
Yeah, James Meredith left-back. McLaughlin right-back, who I always thought was pretty decent. Jake Cooper as well. George Savelin, centre-mid, has got 7 goals.
I say he's not too bad a player, is he?
He looks pretty good.
A Savile in Leeds.
As the alarm goes off. Kill Bill Simon. Yeah, Sean Williams is all right. Jed Wallace on wing. Shane Ferguson looked decent at Newcastle.
It's all about the forwards, though.
Yeah. The ex-Leeds, Morrison. Steve Morrison.
Winger, Steve Morrison.
Yeah. And Tom Elliott, and then Lee Gregory and Aidan O'Brien.
It must be the first time in a while that Tom Elliott's, moved up after his string of free transfer moves all across the country into
I
Scotland.
don't know. He's played in the top tier in Scotland and I think in Iceland.
Yeah, he ventured north and then rocked up at Wimbledon.
Yeah, just keep going. They've got Shane Ferguson. Did you ever hear the story about Shane Ferguson when he was at Newcastle?
No.
When Joe Kinnear was director of football.
This doesn't surprise me now whatsoever. Now you mentioned
Basically,
Joe Kinnear.
Joe Kinnear went to watch a Birmingham City game to scout, And he came back with and he went into all the Birmingham directors, and he's like going, "That Ferguson lad on wing's quality." And he tried to put in a bid for him and tried to sign him, not knowing he was on loan from Newcastle. But there's joking here.
What I quite like is if that had been Bobby Robson, which is something that Bobby Robson might have done when he was at Newcastle, that would just be endearing.
Yeah.
Oh, with Joe Kinnear, it's just what a fucking idiot.
But I'm also fairly sure that Bobby Robson never opened a press conference by saying, "Which one of you is this journalist? You're a..."
That was a great way to start a press conference.
Good way to start your career.
Just think though, if he'd have signed Ferguson, he'd have formed a formidable midfield with Charles Insomnia.
But these are just they're a team full of workhorses. If we play something like, we'll be fine. But they're bound to be up for it. And apparently, instead of giving them like 300 tickets, like it's sensible against Millwall, we've apparently given them like a couple of thousand or something. So.
Oh, that was a good idea.
Yeah. Incidentally, I'm assuming we all saw that like last week the Family Club of the Year had some more racism in the stands.
Shocking. This is a club who's been, filmed on national TV with its own fans fighting each other at Wembley. The fucking morons. It's all I can say about them. I know we've got a bit of a reputation as a club, but fucking...
Millwall are just
scum.
Horrible, aren't they?
It's horrible people.
Is it Dino standing there, chairman?
I honestly don't remember.
I just don't get how someone can be the face of that club and legitimately stand there and try and say
family friendly.
Yeah, and just say that the
white family friendly.
But
we bring flags to the games, Turkish flags, but we bring flags. That's nice.
We had a bit of colour to stand, but they're just.
Can you not phrase it like that when it's Millwall?
That's the point. Yeah. It's like you said, you question football when you hear phrases like Millwall family team of the year. Really,
I think it's happened twice as well.
Yeah.
So not only did they win it, someone went back and went, "Yep."
In all fairness, Kenny Jackett did do quite a bit to improve the standing, but come on.
Yeah. Well, then things come out of this. I'm assuming that it'll be a Wiedwald in goal. You would think Berardi, Janssen, Cooper, De Bock.
Yeah.
But there's no O'Kane. Vieira may well still be injured. So it's Phillips, and who would you play alongside him? Because
let's go back. Clayton? Can we play Clayton?
Yeah, can we play Clayton, please? I will say now that I think it'll be Shaughnessy, but that's not who I would play.
No, I won't have him.
It's not the game for it either.
No.
If he's still about, I know it's not ideal, but needs must click. If he's still about,
I assume he will be, because I've not heard anything about him leaving.
If we are going to get rid, I don't think it'll be this week when O'Kane's out.
Just because he's there in his centre mid, give him a game. Just to get him at shot window, if nothing else.
For me, it'd have to be one of Click or Anita.
If Anita, and I don't think it's the right game for Anita to be playing centre midfielder, to be honest.
Honestly, I think given the choices he's made, I think it will be Shaughnessy.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it will be Shaughnessy.
Yeah,
I just don't think it's just not what I'd do.
No. And again, for him as well, it's not the sort of game I'd be playing him in centre midfield. He ain't got enough about him for me in that position.
You know what? There's an outside chance that could happen. He might make the bench.
He could be on bench if we're that short in midfield. It seems weird, doesn't it, saying that we're short of midfielders all of a sudden.
I like the idea of not the idea of Shaughnessy getting injured, but Shaughnessy comes off and Oriel Ray comes out and Clicks just like, what the fuck? What have I got to do?
Just sit there. Pennington, get yourself in centre of that park, son. For God's sake.
Yeah, and then
Lasogga, whole centre mid, box to box.
Do you think Lasogga will start?
Yeah.
You think he will?
Yeah.
Well, in that case, do you think Roof might play wide?
I'd play Roof behind him.
I mean, again, you got to think as well.
And you'd play Hernandez left?
Yeah.
Well, Trubisky
at home, I would.
Just think Trubisky might be out as well.
Yeah, that's why Trubisky's probably going to be out, because I was thinking it'd be my first thought was Alioski, right, Hernandez and Roof. With Lasogga
I think
up front.
Hernandez is going to be the number 10.
Yeah.
Because we've got no one else, really. Roof could play there.
Let's say, Roof.
I think Roof will play
I think Roof will go wide.
Either right or left, depending on which side he wants Alioski on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Lasogga will get the start this time because although it wasn't saying much, it was a bit better against Ipswich. And
he's trying to get back to fitness.
Who else?
You know,
I mean, if he plays Roof up front, I can just see him getting on his own. I can just see him getting bullied.
It's not the right game for both. You need someone in there who can hold it up and back into players and that. But
He might not do it, but he can do it.
yeah.
Why don't we just put J-Roy on the right? No?
No.
Wonder what he'd actually do if he said, "Right, J-Roy, we're playing you on the right wing."
He's going to drift inside.
Left.
Drift it.
I
No,
thought he's going to just move into the stand.
I was just saying, drift into East Stand.
Poor J-Roy, bless him.
But yeah, to finish off the podcast, hopefully they're a bit better than last time. Predictions, KC.
We're going to win 2-1.
1-0 leads.
If in doubt, Old Faithful 3-1. And I believe that'll do us.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got through this one a bit quicker, which is lucky because I believe Connie's got to run away after this.
Yes.
So yeah,
He's out the door now. He's gone.
It's okay anyway, I don't have to say bye. Casey says it for me anyway. So
but yeah, that'll do us for episode 14 at Mighty White's podcast. We're on Twitter at Mighty White's Pod. There's a Facebook as well, but don't worry about it. You can.
I spent 10 minutes setting that thing up.
The stuff we write and the podcast itself goes up on Through It All Together, which is at THRU, it's all LUFC. We'll be back probably not long after the Millwall game, but because there's no game till the 30th, we might leave it a little bit to because of transfer news and stuff. Either that, or we might end up having to do a short one in between. Yeah. That's literally just talk about Millwall transfer news. We'll see what happens.
We'll put our yellow ties on.
It's all right. We haven't told them we are going to do a transfer deadline day special
live.
24-hour live stream.
We haven't told Dom yet either.
Are we going live to Chris Concannon, who he is at work, but he's on Twitter, so he's on top of things.
Yeah. Well, that appears to be how journalism works. Oh, one transfer rumour that we didn't mention because it's literally happened after we set off up here to record. Well, it probably happened before that, but I didn't see it till then. Chris Martin is being linked to a loan move, but I don't buy it because it seems to have all come after Phil Hay said that he'd quite like us to sign Chris Martin. So I think it's just media talk getting out of hand, to be honest. I don't see why Derby would loan us a player at this stage of the season.
They loaned him to Fulham, though, didn't they?
Yeah, that was a full season.
Yeah,
it wasn't halfway between.
Not that, and we're like 4 to 5 places in between us.
Having said that, I mean, I would quite like him.
He's proven at this level. Scored goals in that Fulham team and all, didn't they? So,
I guess we'll find out now if people listen till the end, considering that's been thrown in right at the death. But that'll do us. We'll be back in a week or so. I've been Jack. Bye.
I've been Connor. Bye.
And I have been KC this week. See you later.
Hey.